Hey, welcome back to this mini lecture on educational issues related to the Oakville shop teacher situation. This has the reason I'm bringing it up is it's become a big news story. I'll try to get back to the basic facts of the situation. I won't go into too many details because they're kind of sketchy. There's a school in Oakville, Ontario, a high school where they had a shop teacher, and the shop teacher is transitioning from male to female. The teacher was wearing tight-fitting attire and prosthetic breasts to school. The teacher was filmed by students while in the machine shop, and this video became viral, and it was picked up by international media, like literally across the world. So it's become a bit of an issue. Because I like to talk about educational issues, here are some issues that are related to the simple act of this teacher doing this, and how that impacts teachers, and more specifically dress code. And we'll talk more about the broader implications after or towards the end. Some issues I thought of that are relating to this is the idea of disclosure. Must this person report their gender transition situation to the school board or the administration of the school? I'm not sure if that's clear. I wonder about communication issues. Because this became such an international phenomenon, I wonder if the school board would have need to take it over versus the school, because they were probably contacted by so many people and so many different news outlets that it might have been overwhelming for the school, and the school board probably wanted to have a uniform message sent out. What's the role of the union in protecting teachers to make sure that they get whatever union protection that they are due to the union that they're in? Ultimately, I wonder about issues like the decisions about the dress code. Should this be decided by the state or the province in this situation, or the local level? And the reason I think about that is, say if you have like a place like San Francisco, where there's like a long LGBTQI tradition, I wonder if it was in a less progressive state, if you might want to have these things decided at a local level to sort of deal with the realities of the situation of the people who are impacted by these decisions. And then related to this is the policy. What takes precedence, the human rights code of the state, the province, the country, etc., or the dress code of the school? Here's some quotes from the Halton District School Board, where the school was located. It attempts to ensure a safe and inclusive environment for all students, staff, and the community, regardless of their race, age, ability, sex, gender identity, gender expression, sexual orientation, ethnicity, religion, cultural observance, socioeconomic circumstances, or body type. So that's what they're trying to do in this situation. This is a response to different inquiries. And on a related note, the HDSB, which is the Halton District School Board, recognizes the rights of students, staff, parents, guardians, and community members to equitable treatment without discrimination based upon gender identity and gender expression. Gender identity and gender expression are protected grounds under the Ontario Human Rights Code. So the province of Ontario seems to protect gender identity and gender expression, and I wonder, when push comes to shove, that the teacher will be able to dress like the teacher chooses because under the guise of gender expression. Some other issues that are related to it are safety. If you've ever been in a wood shop, it can be a little bit dangerous, especially if you have like long hair or clothes or like prosthetics that could get in the way. It could impact teaching and, as a result, learning. There's issues of privacy. I don't know what the school's policy in terms of using cell phones in classrooms and then recording it and sharing it publicly. I wonder the teacher's privacy was infringed. Number 8, something that's really difficult to know. Why did the international attention for this local issue? Like, I know it could be like, because the dress choices were so unique, I wonder if that just uniqueness was the impetus for this. And then it's interesting for certain issues, for 9, for framing. There were some students from the school who were interviewed, and one of them, a young gentleman, talked about how he wanted teachers to be in a business casual dress code. And I wonder, it's interesting where we often think of kids as rebellious, but in this situation they're endorsing more of a institutional prerogative of having a dress code, which seems atypical to me as an educator. Number 10, in terms of expression, I wonder about the idea of limiting teacher symbolic speech. This happened in Canada, in Oakville, Ontario, but I wonder about like the U.S. context. In the Tinker decision in the 60s, dealing with the Vietnam War, the Supreme Court allowed students to wear armbands to show their dissent. And then the iconic decision said something to the effect that kids don't lose their freedom of speech rights at the schoolhouse door. And also Texas v. Johnson, that dealt with desecration of the flag and burning the flag. So both those were more symbolic speech situations, armbands and the U.S. flag, and one dealt with clothing, one didn't. But I wonder if you can make a case for that. But the person wants to express themselves freely through the symbol of clothing, so hence it's protected under the First Amendment, especially if it's public school. And then finally, the thing that I find most troubling is that the idea of marginalization. This person is doing a gender transition, which I'm sure is a really difficult situation. And there is very little to no coverage that I saw about interviewing the teacher, finding out why the person's transitioning, why they chose this clothing choice, et cetera, et cetera. I like to think of people in the best terms and give them the benefit of the doubt. And maybe there's some kind of really profound reason why they chose to dress that way. That might not be true, and I might be naive, but I wish that was done. And as well, I wish there seemed to be some condescension in the way that the situation was dealt with by different media outlets. And ultimately, I think the victims for this are obviously the teacher, but also any students who are thinking of doing a similar transition where they might be less inclined to do this kind of transition because they know that there could be a really negative fallout that's both local in scale but potentially international. So that was educational issues related to the Oakville shop teacher situation. As always, thanks for watching. Take care. Hope to see you again soon.